Hello dear friends, welcome to another lecture of strength of materials. Now in today's lecture, we are going to solve previous year questions of GATE and engineering services related to shear force and bending moment diagram. In the last two lectures, we have seen how to draw shear force and bending moment diagram. In today's lecture, we are going to solve the previous year questions from these competitive exams related to shear force and bending moment diagram, and we are going to discuss some really amazing and interesting concepts through these questions. Now those of you who are watching this video for the first time, my video for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Aprup Rao, MTech from IIT Kharagpur. My specialization was mechanical systems design. Then I was recruited from campus. I worked for 2 years in Mahindra and Mahindra automotive sector in their research and development center. Then I quit my job and I started teaching students preparing for GATE and engineering services. I've been teaching them for 6+ years. I've taught thousands of students and I basically teach subjects related to design, strength of material, engineering mechanics, machine design and theory of machine. So you can see my love for design. Since my MTech, I have always been associated with design, and I guarantee you, if you keep watching my videos, you will also fall in love with design, my friends. Alright, so now on our YouTube channel, we have been posting live video lectures of all the subjects related to mechanical and civil engineering. So please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon so that you will get the notification of all our video lectures. Whenever we post any video, whenever we come live for any lecture, you will get notification and you will not miss any lecture. Okay, so please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you will get the notification of all the videos. Okay, now if you want to learn more from me or the top educators and the top educators of India, if you want to learn more from me and the top educators of India, you can subscribe to Unacademy Plus, which is India's largest online learning platform. Unacademy Plus, you can take a subscription of Unacademy Plus. 1 year subscription only costs 25,000 rupees, and if you divide it by 365, it will only cost you 60 rupees per day, my friend. So 1 year subscription is only going to cost you 60 rupees per day, and you will be able to watch the video lectures of all the faculties who are teaching for GATE and engineering services, including me. And if you use my referral code, this is my referral code APPROVE10, you will get a 10% discount, my friend. So please do not forget to subscribe to Unacademy Plus and use my referral code APPROVE10. A lot of students have already been on this platform, so don't lose in this race and start your preparation as soon as possible, my friend. Okay, so let's move on to today's video lecture. So we are going to solve problems of GATE and engineering services related to shear force and bending moment diagram. I hope you have seen my previous two lectures so that your basic concepts related to shear force and bending moment diagram will be crystal clear. Okay, now we will apply those concepts solving shear force and bending moment diagrams of GATE and engineering services. Okay, all right, so the first problem is from GATE 2005. This is a very interesting problem, my friend. GATE 2005. This problem was asked in GATE 2005. Okay, so this is our first problem. Very interesting problem. This is a loading diagram. This is a loading diagram. We have a UVL, upward UVL. This is, let's say, A, B, C. Upward UVL from A to B and a downward UVL from B to C. Let's say this length is L and this length is also L. And you have to draw the bending moment diagram for this curve. Okay, there are four options. You have to draw basically the bending moment diagram for this question. Okay, so now we will see what bending moment diagram will be for this question. Okay, I will give you the options. So the first option, A option, is this. The A option is this. Let me give you the options so that you can see what options are given in the question. Okay, so this is the first option. This is the first option. This is the second option. This is the third option. And this is the fourth option. Okay. So now out of these four options A, B, C, D, we have to find which one will be the bending moment diagram for this beam. Okay. So we have a UVL. We have a UVL. So we know that the bending moment diagram is going to be cubic, my friend. If there is a UVL acting on a beam, then shear force diagram is parabola, bending moment diagram is cubic. But the slope of this cubic equation, whether it will be increasing or decreasing, that is the problem, my friend. So you can't directly solve this. Okay, you have to draw the shear force diagram first. Why? Because the slope of bending moment diagram is equal to shear force, my friend. Okay, so whether the slope of bending moment diagram will be increasing or decreasing, it will depend upon whether the shear force is increasing or decreasing. So first of all, we will have to draw the shear force diagram of this beam. Then only we will able to find the bending moment diagram. Out of these, which one will be the bending moment diagram? Okay, this is not going to be the answer. Why? Because this is linear. Okay, so it has to be a cubic equation, that we know, but whether the slope will be increasing or decreasing, that we have to find out. And in order to do that, we have to first draw the shear force diagram. So let's draw the shear force diagram for this beam, my friend. So I have told you what is the procedure of quickly drawing shear force and bending moment diagram. So first we will draw a datum line, my friend. This is a datum line, means on this line the shear force is 0. Okay, now there is no point load at A, so there will be no sudden change. From A to B there is a UVL, my friend. So shear force diagram will be a parabola. At A shear force will be 0. What will be the value at B? At B the value will be equal to total load from A to B. What will be total load from A to B? Area of this loading diagram, which will be half of W naught into L, means W naught into L by 2. Area from A to B, half of W naught means half of height into base. Okay, so W naught into L by 2. So at point B shear force will be W naught into L by 2, and from A to B it is going to be a parabola, my friend. Okay, so at point B it will be W naught L by 2. What is our sign convention? From left upward force is positive, from right upward force will be negative. So it will be minus W naught into L by 2. It is equal to the area from A to B. So half W naught into L. So it will be W naught L by 2. From A to B we know that the shear force diagram will be parabola. But whether it will be increasing slope or decreasing slope. See, load intensity from A to B is decreasing. So the slope of bending moment diagram will also be, slope of shear force diagram will also be decreasing. Slope of shear force diagram is equal to load intensity. Load intensity is decreasing, so slope is decreasing. Now at point C, what will be the shear force? Total load on the right side. What will be the total load on the right side? Look at this. From A to B, UVL is upward, and from B to C, UVL is downward, and they are equal and opposite. They are equal and opposite. From here to here, the UVL is W naught L by 2 upward, and from B to C W naught L by 2 downward. So both these will cancel each other. So at point C, what will you get? 0. At point C, total shear force will be 0. Okay. From here to here, you will get a parabola, but this time the load intensity is increasing. From B to C, load intensity is increasing, means the slope of shear force will be increasing. So look at this, my friend. Look at this. At A, what is the shear force? 0. At B, what is the shear force? Minus W naught L by 2. At C, what is the shear force, my friend? 0. So at A, 0. At C, 0. At B, W naught L by 2. Okay. Now we will draw the bending moment diagram, my friend. Now we will draw the bending moment diagram. This is the shear force diagram. Now we have to draw bending moment diagram. Okay. All right. So let's say this is the datum line, my friend. This is 0. Okay, this is the datum line. This is 0 and 0. Now what we will do? We will calculate the bending moment, my friend. We will calculate the bending moment. So at point A, what will be the bending moment, my friend? At point A, what will be the bending moment? So on the right side of A, there is no load. So bending moment at A will be 0, my friend. Okay. At point B, what will be the bending moment? At point B, what will be the bending moment, my friend? Bending moment of this force, right? Bending moment of this UVL. Okay. So what is the load of UVL? The load of UVL is W naught L by 2. Okay. This is the load of UVL, W naught L by 2, half of base into height. So W naught L by 2, and it is upward from right. This moment will be positive. So this moment will be positive, and in order to take moment, we will assume that this W naught L by 2 is acting where? Centroid, here. This W naught L by 2 is acting here. This distance will be how much? This distance will be 2L by 3, my friend. This distance will be 2L by 3. From this centroid to point A, distance will be L by 3. From this centroid to point B, distance will be 2L by 3. Okay. So load is W naught L by 2, distance is 2L by 3. So what will you get, my friend? What will you get? This 2 and 2 will be cancelled. You will get W naught L square by 3. So what is the value of bending moment here, my friend? W naught L square by 3. W naught L square by 3. So at A, bending moment 0. At B, W naught L square by 3. Now what will be the bending moment at C, my friend? What will be the bending moment at C? Tell me what will be the bending moment at C. So at point C, when you calculate bending moment, you have to take bending moment of UVL from A to B and UVL from B to C. Okay. This UVL will also be W naught L by 2. And what will be this distance, my friend? This distance will be L by 3. So take moment of this UVL and this UVL. This UVL will have positive moment. This UVL will have negative moment. Okay. So calculate it. What will you get? W naught L by 2. This UVL, for this UVL, W naught L by 2, it will be positive moment. What will be distance from this point to this point? From this centroid to point C, L plus 2L by 3. This distance will be L plus 2L by 3 minus moment of this UVL will be downward UVL will be negative. So what will be this moment, my friend? W naught L by 2 into, what is this distance, my friend? From centroid to point C, L by 3. So you will get moment at point C equals to 2W naught L square by 3. If you calculate it, you will get 2W naught L square by 3. So here 0, here W naught L square by 3, and here maximum moment will be 2W naught L square by 3. Now, we know that from A to C, the entire load is UVL. Means from A to C, the entire bending moment diagram will be cubic. But whether that cubic equation will have increasing slope or decreasing slope, it will depend upon shear force, my friend. Okay. So look at the shear force value. At A, shear force is 0. At B, shear force is W naught L by 2. And at C, shear force is 0. Okay. From A to B, shear force value is increasing. Forget about this sign. Forget about negative sign. Look at the magnitude. At A, it is 0. At B, it is W naught L by 2. So from A to B, shear force is increasing. So slope of bending moment diagram will be increasing. Increasing slope means 0 to 90. Okay, increasing slope means 0 to 90. So we will have a bending moment diagram like this. Cubic equation from A to B, cubic equation, and it will have increasing slope. But from B to C, shear force is decreasing, my friend. Look at the value here, W naught L by 2, and here 0. So from B to C, shear force is decreasing. So slope of bending moment diagram will be decreasing, means 90 to 0. So the equation will be like this. The curve will be like this. It will also be cubic, but decreasing slope. And in the end, there is a couple. Because of this fixed end, there must be a couple. So it will suddenly change up to 0. It should start from 0, end at 0. So this is the bending moment diagram, my friend. This is the bending moment diagram. Interesting thing about it is, from A to B, the slope is increasing, and from B to C, the slope is decreasing. Okay. So this is the bending moment diagram for this particular question. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next question. Another very interesting question, my friend. And this is a very important topic, my friend. The next question that we are going to deal with, in this question, we are going to deal with a very important topic. Okay. So this question, the next question is of GATE 2005. GATE 2005. We have a probed cantilever beam, my friend. What is probed cantilever beam? A cantilever beam with an additional support. Okay, we have a probed cantilever beam. This is a cantilever beam. Okay, with an additional support. Okay, here it is fixed and here it is hinged. Okay, and there is an internal hinge. There is an internal hinge at this point. Okay, There is an internal hinge at this point. This load is P. This is A. Let's say this is B. This is C. This is D. This is L by 2. This is L by 2. And this is L. Okay. So this is the question, my friend. We have a propped cantilever beam. And what do we have to calculate? We have to calculate what will be the bending moment at A. Sorry, bending moment at D. Okay. This is the question, my friend. Okay. GATE 2005 question. This is a propped cantilever beam with an internal hinge. What is this, my friend? This is an internal hinge. Okay, note this down. This is an internal hinge, and we need to find bending moment at point D. This is our question, my friend. Okay. First of all, we need to understand what is internal hinge. Now, this is a very important topic. This is a very important concept. You will see a lot of question in GATE and engineering services in any competitive exam related to internal hinge. Okay. So first of all, we have to understand what is internal hinge. Okay. So let's say you have two beams. Okay. Let's say there is one beam here, AB, and there is another beam here, CD. Okay. Let's say we have two beams. Okay. And then we will connect these two beams. We will connect these two beams using a pin joint. Okay, using a pin joint. What is pin joint, my friend? Nut and bolt or rivet. It can be considered as a pin joint. Okay, so let's say you have connected these two beams using a pin. You have inserted a pin. So now you have a single beam, my friend. Now you have a single beam, AD. Okay, B point and C point, both these points are connected using a pin. So this joint, this hinge joint, this is known as a hinge joint. This hinge joint is known as internal hinge. So what is internal hinge, my friend? If you connect two different beams using a pin, then that joint is known as internal hinge. Now what is the meaning of this word internal? Why we are using internal word? Because this hinge is the internal part of the body. Okay, it is inside the body, it is a part of the body. This is a hinge joint. Okay, the body and the support are also connected by a hinge joint, but this is an external hinge because this is not exactly part of the beam. Okay, it is external to the beam, but this joint is internal to the beam. This joint is a part of the body. Okay, so that's why it is known as internal hinge, my friend. Okay, it is nothing but a hinge joint, pin joint, but it is called internal because it is a part of the beam. So do you understand what is internal hinge? Now look at this body, my friend. Look at this beam. Look at this beam. In this beam, my friend, in this beam, if you draw free body diagram, what will you get, my friend? If you draw free body diagram, what will you get? There will be a reaction here, there will be a couple here, there will be a reaction here. Forget about X reactions because X reactions are axial forces and we don't need axial forces in order to calculate shear force and bending moment. Shear force and bending moments are developed due to transverse forces, vertical forces. Okay, so that's why I'm not considering axial forces, X direction forces. Okay, so don't say that there will be a reaction here in X, there will be a reaction in X. There will be reactions in X, but I'm not considering them because my motive is to find shear force and bending moment. Okay, so we don't need to find axial force. So now how many reactions do we have? We have a reaction here, we have a reaction here, we have a reaction here. So we have three unknowns. And how many equilibrium equations do we have? Summation of Fx, forget about that. So we have summation of Fy equals to 0 and summation of M equals to 0. We only have two equilibrium equations. So how will we find this reaction? Why do we need this reaction? Because if you want to find bending moment at D, you need these reaction. Otherwise, how will you calculate bending moment at D? Let's say I want to calculate bending moment at D. What will it be? From right side, it will be reaction into this distance minus P into this distance. So I need the value of this reaction and I can't find the value of this reaction using these two equilibrium equations because there are three unknowns and two equations. So what we will do, we will use another equilibrium equation, a very important point, my friend. Note this down. In this case, we have another equilibrium equation. My friend, hinge joint is not capable of withstanding moment. Okay, hinge joint cannot restrict the moment. Okay, for example, let's say you have a body like this and you have a body like this, you connect them using a pin. Now if you apply force in X, this pin will not allow this movement, this pin will not allow this motion, right? If you apply force in X, it will not be able to move because of the pin. If you apply force in Y, if you apply force in Y direction, then also it will not allow the motion. But if you apply a moment, will it be able to restrict the motion? No, the beam will collapse, the beam will rotate. So hinge joint, pin joint, if you connect two bodies using a pin, it cannot restrict, it cannot constrain rotation, my friend. Okay, so bending moment at point C must be zero because of internal hinge. Because of internal hinge, bending moment must be zero. This is a very important point, my friend. Note this point. Whenever there is an internal hinge in a beam, bending moment at that point must be zero. Otherwise, what will happen? If you apply moment about this pin, then this beam will rotate. Okay, this hinge will not be able to restrict rotation because it is a hinge joint. So that's why bending moment about this point should be zero. This beam can withstand bending moment at other sections, but at this section there should be no bending moment. This is a requirement. Okay, so this is another equilibrium equation. So using this equilibrium equation, we can find these reaction. Why do we need this reaction? To find bending moment at D. Okay, now in order to find bending moment at D, either you need reactions here or you need reactions here. You don't have to calculate all the reactions. Okay, if you find only Ra, then also you can calculate moment at D. So what we will do, we will calculate the value of Ra using this equilibrium equation. Bending moment at C should be 0. What is our equilibrium equation? Bending moment at C should be 0. Why? Because at point C there is an internal hinge. Okay, remember this point. Whenever there is an internal hinge at any point in the beam, bending moment at that point should be 0 because this is a hinge joint, pin joint. It cannot restrict rotation. So bending moment at C should be 0. Now what will be bending moment at C? Calculate it from right. On right of C there are two forces. Ra into this distance will be L minus P into this distance is L by 2, and this should be equal to 0. So what will you get, my friend? Ra will be equal to, my friend, P by 2. Ra will be P by 2. Okay, so now we have got the value of this reaction. Okay, we don't need these reactions. If you have the value of this reaction, you can calculate bending moment at D. So now let's calculate bending moment at D. What will you get, my friend? P by 2 into 2L. From here to here distance will be 2L. So P by 2 into 2L. This moment will be positive, minus P into this distance will be L plus L by 2. L plus L by 2. So what will be MD, my friend? This will be P minus 3PL by 2. So minus PL by 2. So this is the bending moment at point D. This negative sign is because of our sign convention. It doesn't matter. Okay, you can take any sign convention. So forget about the sign. Just look at the magnitude. They will only ask you magnitude because sign convention vary from person to person. Okay, so that's why they only ask you magnitude. So what is the magnitude of point D? PL by 2, my friend. Okay, so do you understand the concept of internal hinge? It is a very important concept because you will see a lot of questions related to internal hinge. Okay, so what is internal hinge? If you connect two different beams using a pin joint, then that joint is internal hinge. Why? Because it is a part of the body. That's why it is internal hinge. Okay, and what is the equilibrium equation because of this hinge? Because of this hinge there is an additional equilibrium equation. What is that equilibrium equation? Because of this internal hinge, bending moment at this point should be 0. Okay, bending moment at this point should be 0, my friend. Now I will tell you one more concept related to this. I will tell you one more concept related to this, a very interesting concept. Although it is not asked in the question you only have to calculate bending moment at D. Let's draw the bending moment diagram because I want to explain a very interesting concept. Let's draw the bending moment diagram. Okay, so let's say this is your datum point. This is your datum point. Let's say this is your datum point 0, 0. Okay, what is the value? What is the value at point A? What is the bending moment at point A, my friend? What is the bending moment at point A? 0. Okay, bending moment at point A will be 0 because there is no couple and there is nothing on right. So bending moment at A will be 0. What will be bending moment at P? What will be bending moment at B? Bending moment at B, what will it be? P by 2 into L by 2 means PL by 4. Bending moment at B will be PL by 4. Okay, from A to B it will be a straight line. From A to B it will be a straight line. What will be bending moment at C? Bending moment at C you don't have to calculate because you know there is an internal hinge. So bending moment at C will be 0. And from B to C there will be a straight line. What will be bending moment at D? We have just calculated. Bending moment at D is minus PL by 2. So bending moment at D minus PL by 2. And from here to here also there will be a straight line. Okay. And in the end it will become 0. In the end it will become 0 because it should start from 0, end at 0. This is the bending moment diagram, right? This is the bending moment diagram. Look at this point, my friend. What is this point? Tell me. What is this point called? Tell me what is this point called? In the last lecture, I have told you the point at which bending moment changes sign. This is positive bending moment. This is negative point bending moment. This is the point at which bending moment is changing sign. And what is this point? This is known as point of contraflexure, my friend. This is point of contraflexure. And where are you getting point of contraflexure, my friend? You are getting point of contraflexure at the internal hinge. So note this point. Nobody will tell you this concept. Note this point. It is very important point from theory point of view. Note this point. In these type of beams with internal hinge, you get point of contraflexure at the internal hinge. Okay. In regular cantilever beam, you don't see point of contraflexure, but this is a propped cantilever beam with internal hinge. So in case of beams with internal hinge, you will get point of contraflexure at the internal hinge. This is a very beautiful, very amazing concept. Note this down, my friend. It will help you to solve theory questions. Okay, you can be asked theory question from this concept. So whenever there is an internal hinge in a beam, what you will get? You will get point of contraflexure at that point. At that point, the bending moment will change sign from positive to negative or negative to positive, my friend. Okay, so note this concept, note this point. Okay, all right. So this concept is very important. Beam with internal hinge. Okay, all right. So I have told you everything about beams with internal hinge. Now let's move on to another question. Let's move on to another question and let's see another concept, another beautiful, another amazing concept. Okay, so let's see another question. Question number, okay, this is a question from GATE 2007. This is a question from GATE 2007, my friend. Okay, I am trying to explain different concepts using the questions of GATE and engineering services. Okay, so this is a simply supported beam and there is a bracket attached to this beam. There is a bracket attached to this beam. This load is 500 Newton. This distance is 0.1 meter. This distance is 0.5 meter. This distance is 0.5 meter. This is point A. This is point B. This is point C. Okay, so this is the loading diagram, my friend. Okay, we have a simply supported beam and there is a bracket attached to this beam. What is this? This is a bracket, L-shaped bracket, my friend. Okay, so this is a very interesting question. You will see a lot of questions like this also. Beams where there is a bracket attached to this beam and the load is not directly acting on the beam. The load is not directly acting on the beam. The load is acting on the bracket. Okay. So in this question, what do we do? If you want to draw shear force or bending moment diagram of the beam, then you have to transfer this force from here to beam. Okay, you don't want to draw shear force and bending moment diagram for bracket. Okay, bracket is not important right now. What is important? Beam is important. So you want this load to be transferred on the beam. So what we will do? We will transfer this force from bracket to beam. Okay, I will directly transfer it on this diagram. So if you transfer this load from here to here, what do you get? You get a force of 500 Newton. You get a force of 500 Newton and you will get a moment, my friend. You will get a moment. What will be the value of this moment, my friend? 500 into 0.1. The value of this moment will be 500 into 0.1 means 50 Newton meter. Okay, 500 into 0.1 means 50 Newton meter. So we have transferred this force from here to here. So now forget about this bracket. Forget about this bracket. Okay, now we don't need the bracket. Now we have a simply supported beam subjected to point load and a couple of 50 Newton meter. And what do we need to calculate? We need to calculate maximum bending moment in this beam. We need to calculate maximum bending moment in this beam. Okay, so do you understand this concept? Do you understand this concept, my friend? There was a bracket attached to the beam. So I transferred the load from bracket to the beam, okay, because I want shear force and bending moment in the beam, not on the bracket. Okay, so I want the load acting on the beam, not on the bracket. So transfer the load from here to beam, you will get a force and a moment. Now calculate the reaction. This will be RA, this will be RC. Calculate the reaction. What will you get? Take moment about point C. Take moment about point C. Summation of M about point C equal to 0. What will you get? Take moment about point C. It should be 0. So what will you get? RA into this distance will become 1 meter minus 500 into 0.5 plus this couple 50 equals to 0. So from here what will you get? This will become 500 into 0.5 means 250 minus 50. So it will become, 250 minus 50. So this will become 200 Newton. Okay, sorry. This load was 100 Newton. This load was 100 Newton. This load was 100 Newton. Okay. So this will become 100 into 0.1. This is 10 Newton meter. Sorry, my friend. The question was different. This load was 100 Newton. So 100 into 0.1, 10 Newton meter. So this will become 100 into 0.5 minus plus 10. So this will become 50 minus 10, 40 Newton. RA is 40 Newton. So this will become 40. And if this is 40, then this will be 60, right? Total downward load is 100. So if this is 40, this will be 60. Now draw the bending moment diagram, my friend. Draw the bending moment diagram. We need maximum bending moment. We need maximum bending moment. So I will draw the bending moment diagram. So at point A, bending moment will be 0. At point B, what will you get? At point B, what will you get? Bending moment 40 into 0.5. 40 into 0.5. So at point B, you will get 40 into 0.5 means 20 Newton meter. And from A to B, it will be a straight line. But there is a couple acting at point B in the clockwise direction. From left, this moment is positive. So from 20, it will suddenly change up to 20 plus 10, 30. Why there is a sudden change? I told you in the first lecture of shear force and bending moment diagram, in the second lecture of shear force and bending moment diagram, if there is a couple acting on the beam, then there will be a sudden change in bending moment. Okay, so it is suddenly changing from 20 to 30. At point C, it will become 0. So this is the bending moment diagram. What is the maximum bending moment, my friend? What is the maximum bending moment here? The maximum bending moment is 30 Newton meter. So do you understand this concept, my friend? The concept of bracket. If there is a bracket attached to the beam, then if you transfer the load on the beam, what you will get? A force and a couple, my friend. Okay. Now there can be two types of bracket. Okay, there can be two types of bracket. On any beam, there can be two types of bracket. One bracket is this. One bracket is this L-shaped bracket. We have already seen this L-shaped bracket. Let's say this is P and let's say this distance is A. So this is one type of bracket. This is another type of bracket, my friend. This is another type of bracket. This is another type of bracket. Let's say we have a bracket like this. Okay. Let's say this distance is A. This is A, B, C, A, B, C. So these are the two types of bracket. Okay. In one problem, there is an L-shaped bracket, and in one problem, there is a vertical bracket. Okay. So if you transfer the load in the first case, what will you get? If you transfer the load on the beam in the first case, what will you get, my friend? If you transfer the load from here to here, you get a vertical force P and a couple PA. If you transfer the load from here to here, you will get a vertical force and a couple. But if you transfer the load in this particular case, in this case, what will you get? In this case, you will get an axial force, a horizontal force P and a couple P into A. What is the difference in these two cases, my friend? What is the difference in these two cases? In this case, you are getting a axial force. Okay. Now, in case of shear force and bending moment, you don't need to deal with axial force because there will be no shear force due to axial force. Axial force will be a normal force. So there will be no shear force. Shear force means parallel force. So there will be no shear force due to P and there will be no moment due to P. So this force do not have to consider. You do not have to consider axial force. You don't have to consider axial force for calculating shear force and bending moment. For calculating shear force and bending moment, what do you need? You need transverse force, means vertical force. So whenever you have a horizontal force, forget that horizontal force. Forget that horizontal force. Okay. Don't consider the horizontal force. Only consider the vertical force. Okay. So in this type of beam, you will only get a couple because we will forget about the horizontal force. We will only get a couple. Here we will get a vertical force and a couple. But here we will only get couple because we will ignore the axial force for calculating what? Shear force and bending moment. Okay. All right. So I have told you about this type of question also. I have told you about the bracket type questions also. These type of questions are also frequently asked. Okay. Now we will move on to the next type of question. We will see this question. Very interesting question, my friend. Very interesting question. You might have not seen this type of question before. We have a simply supported beam. We have a simply supported beam. This is the question. Simply supported beam subjected to W equals to sine 3 pi x by L. Okay. This is the load intensity, my friend. Okay. W equals to sine 3 pi x by L Newton per meter. Okay. This is the question. Simply supported beam subjected to W equals to sine 3 pi x by L Newton per meter. Find reaction force. Find the reaction force. This question is from GATE 2013, my friend. Find the vertical reaction force. They are asking you to find the vertical reaction force for a simply supported beam subjected to W equals to sine 3 pi x by L. This is a very interesting question because we have never seen this type of question before, my friend. So let's solve this question. Very easy to solve. First of all, what you need to do is you need to draw the diagram of this. Okay. This is a sinusoidal curve. Okay. This is a sine curve, sine 3 pi x by L. So what will happen, my friend? Put the values of x here and draw the diagram. X equals to 0, x equals to L by 3, x equals to 2L by 3, x equals to L. Put the value of x and draw the diagram. You will get this type of diagram, my friend. You will get this type of diagram. Okay. You will get this type of sine curve. Sine curve, you should know how to draw sine curve. Okay. How will you draw sine curve? Sinusoidal curves are like this. Okay. Now you just have to find what will be the value at x equals to 0. What will be the value of x equals to L by 3. This is 2L by 3. This is L. Okay. This is A, B, C, D. This is L by 3. This is L by 3. This is L by 3. So at x equals to L by 3, what will you get? At x equals to L by 3, you will get sine pi, 0. At x equals to 2L by 3, again you will get 0. And at x equals to L, again you will get 0. So this is the sinusoidal curve. This is the diagram. Okay, this is the loading diagram. Okay. Now look at this loading diagram, my friend. This is a symmetric loading. What is the symmetric loading? Symmetric loading means this type of loading. This is a symmetric loading. This is a symmetric loading. This type of loadings are called symmetric loading, my friend. Okay, this type of loading is called symmetric loading. What is interesting about symmetric loading? In case of symmetric loading, both the reactions will be equal. Okay, the reaction here and the reaction here, both these reactions will be equal, and their value will be half of total downward load. Okay, their value will be half of the total load. So what is the total load in this case? W. So this reaction will be W by 2 and W by 2. Similarly, let's say this length is L. So what is the total load here? WL. So this reaction will be WL by 2, WL by 2. So look at these questions. These are symmetric load. Symmetric means on both sides of center the load is same. So here also on both sides of center, let's say this is the center point. On both sides the load is same, symmetric. So both the reactions will be equal. And how will you calculate their value? Half of total load. Half of total load from A to D. So in this question, what do you need? You need to find total load, my friend. Total load, whatever the total load is, half of that will be reaction. Okay. Whatever the total load is, half of that will be reaction. So how will you calculate total load? How will you calculate total load from A to D? I told you when we were discussing distributed loads, I told you in case of distributed load, the area of loading diagram is equal to total load. Okay, whatever the loading diagram you have, calculate the area of that diagram and you will get total load. For example, in case of UDL, let's say this is W, this is L. What is this area? It is a rectangle. W into L, height into width. So that's why in case of UDL, what is total load? W into L. So here also, if you want total load, what do you have to calculate? Area. And how will you calculate area, my friend? This is the equation W. This is the equation of W. Just integrate it from 0 to L and you will get the area. Okay, just integrate it. Sine 3 pi x by L dx. Just integrate this equation and you will get the area. This is already the equation of the curve. And what is area under the curve? Integration of the curve. Okay, if you integrate any curve, you will get the area under the curve. So we are integrating this curve, we will get the area under the curve, which will be total load from A to D. So integrate it, what will you get? Sine 3 pi x by L. This will be minus of L by 3 pi. This will be minus of L by 3. Sin x is minus cos x. So minus L by 3 pi. This will become cos 3 pi x by L from 0 to L. Okay. So this will become minus L by 3 pi. Cos 3 pi x by L. Put x equals to L. What will you get? Put x equals to L. You will get cos 3 pi and put x equals to 0. You will get cos 0. So what will you get? Minus L by 3 pi. Cos 3 pi means minus 1. Cos 3 pi minus 1 and cos 0 is also, cos 0 is 1. So you will get what? This is minus 2 into minus L by 3 pi. You will get 2L by 3 pi. So what is total load? Total load is 2L by 3 pi. Total load is 2L by 3 pi. So what will be the reaction? RA and RD. What will be the reaction RA and RD? It will be half of total load. Because this is symmetric loading. In case of symmetric loading, reactions are half of total load. So total load is 2L by 3 pi. So divided by 2, you will get L by 3 pi, my friend. This is your answer. This is your answer. This is your answer. So do you understand the concept, my friend? Do you understand the concept? Whenever you have the equation of load intensity, just integrate that and you will get total load. You can use this concept in any problem. Suppose you have a cantilever beam. I am telling you another very important example. Suppose you have a cantilever beam subjected to a parabolic distributed load. Let's say this is W equals to 3x square and this is x equals to 2 meter. Sorry, this is 2 meter. Okay. Suppose you have this and I am asking you what is the total load. What will you do? What will be the total load? Area under this curve. And how will you calculate area under the curve? You just integrate it. 3x square dx from 0 to 2 meter. you will get the total load from A to B, my friend. Very important, very beautiful concept. So whenever you have an equation in load intensity, whenever you have this equation, then no problem. You don't need to worry. You just have to integrate this equation from this end to this end and you will get the total load. Okay, so integration from 0 to 2 meter, 3x square dx, and you will get total load from A to B. Okay, so very important concept, my friend, very important concept. Okay, you might have not seen this type of question before. Okay, if you are liking this video, if you are liking my teaching, please hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up, my friend. Give me a thumbs up. Please hit the like button and don't forget to share this video to as many people as you can. Okay, we have to increase our number of subscribers. Right now our number of subscribers are low, they are not satisfactory. If our number of subscribers are very high, then we can post a lot of videos, so it will only benefit you, my friend. Okay, it is only for your benefit, so please share this video to as many students as possible. Okay, put it in your Facebook status, put it in your WhatsApp status, send it to your WhatsApp groups, share it to all your contacts, and let's reach to maximum number of subscribers. Okay, so sharing is caring. Remember, sharing is caring. Please share this video to everyone. Okay, and please hit the like button. If you're liking my teaching, if you're liking this concept, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the like button. Okay, so let's move on to another question, my friends. Let's move on to another question. Let's move on to another very interesting question. So we have another very interesting question. We have a cantilever beam. We have a cantilever beam subjected to loading, uniform loading, and equation of bending moment is given. Okay, equation of bending moment is given. We have a cantilever beam, equation of bending moment is given, 5x square plus 10x. Equation of bending moment is given, 5x square plus 10x, where x is in mm, x is in mm, and m is in Newton mm. Okay, m is in Newton mm. Okay, we have a cantilever beam and equation of bending moment is given. What do you need? We need find shear force at x equals to 10 mm. Find shear force at x equals to how much? 10 mm. Okay, this is the question. Okay, this is the question from GATE 2017. Okay, so it was recently asked, GATE 2017. You have the equation of bending moment. They're asking you to find shear force at x equals to 10 mm. Okay, so what you will do in this case, you have a relation between shear force and bending moment. What is the relation between shear force and bending moment? dm by dx equals to s, right? Slope of bending moment diagram equals to shear force, or you can see differentiation of bending moment is equal to shear force. Okay, so what you have to do, put the value of bending moment here, put the equation of bending moment here, 5x square plus 10x equals to s. Differentiate it, what you will get? 10x plus 10 equals to shear force. This is the equation of shear force. What do you need? You need shear force at x equals to 10 mm. So at x equals to 10 mm, just put the value of x in this equation. S equals to 10 into x plus 10. So 10 into 10 plus 10. So what will you get? Shear force will be 110 Newton, my friend. This is the answer, my friend. Very interesting question. We have the equation of bending moment, my friend. We have the equation of bending moment and we need to find shear force. So just use this relation, dm by dx equals to s. Okay, use this relation and you can find out equation of shear force from the equation of bending moment. So we have got the equation of shear force, then all you need to do is just put the value of x. This is a question from GATE 2017, my friend. Okay, so very important question. Okay, so let's move on to the next question we have. Let's move on to the next question. So we have this question, my friend, very interesting. It is from GATE 2003 of civil engineering. Okay, this is from civil engineering, GATE 2003. This is from civil engineering, GATE 2003. So what we have in this question is, we have bending moment diagram of a beam. We have a bending moment diagram of a beam. This is the bending moment diagram of a beam. Okay, this is what? Bending moment diagram. This is the bending moment diagram of a beam. This is 100 kilonewton meter. This is 0. This is 0. This is 200 kilonewton meter. Okay. We have a section here. We have a section here. This is AA. This is BB. This is from GATE 2003, my friend. GATE 2003 from civil engineering. Okay. This distance is given 0.5 meter. 0.5 meter. Then from here to here 1 meter. From here to here 1 meter. Okay. So this is from GATE 2003 of civil engineering. And what they are asking, this is the bending moment diagram. They are asking you to calculate shear force at AA and BB. We need shear force at AA. We need shear force at BB. These are two sections. Okay. This is what bending moment diagram. We need what? Shear force. Okay. So how will we calculate shear force from bending moment? Again, we will use the same concept, my friend. What is the relation between shear force and bending moment? dm by dx equals to S. What does this mean? The meaning of this is slope of bending moment diagram is equal to shear force. So if you know the slope of bending moment diagram, that will be equal to the shear force. Now we need shear force at this plane and this plane. What is the slope here? Tell me what is the slope here. Tell me what is the slope at this section. Here we have a horizontal line. What is slope, my friend? Slope means angle from horizontal. So what is the angle from horizontal for this line? It is a horizontal line. So angle from horizontal is 0. So what is the slope at AA? Slope at AA. Shear force at AA will be 0, my friend. Shear force at AA will be 0. Slope at AA of bending moment diagram. Slope of bending moment diagram is shear force. Slope of this line is 0 because this is a horizontal line. Now, this horizontal line will not have 0 slope. This horizontal line will have some slope. Okay. So what will be the shear force at BB? Slope at BB. So calculate the slope at BB, my friend. Okay. Calculate the slope at BB. What is the slope? dy by dx. What is the slope? dy by dx. So for this line, this is dy. What will be this? This is total is 200. This is 100. So this will be 100, my friend. Okay. This is 100. This total 200. So this will be 100. So this is dy. And what is dx? What is this? This is 2 meter. So dy by dx is the slope. So this will be 100 by 2 means 50 Newton. So this is the shear force at BB. So shear force at AA is 0 and shear force at BB is 50 Newton. Very easy. You just have to find the slope. So this line has 0 slope and this line has 50 Newton slope. Okay. So slope of bending moment diagram is equal to shear force. That is the property we can use to find shear force from bending moment diagram. Okay. All right. So we have seen another very interesting concept. Now let's move on to the next question. Now I have another very important question. Very important question, my friend. This is from GATE 2010. Civil Engineering, GATE 2010. You might not have seen this question also. You might not have seen this question also. We have a simply supported beam. We have a simply supported beam subjected to uniformly distributed couple. Uniformly distributed moment. We have a simply supported beam subjected to uniformly distributed moment, my friend. What is this? This is a uniformly distributed moment. You might have not seen uniformly distributed moment. You have seen uniformly distributed load, but this is uniformly distributed moment, m kilonewton meter per meter. Okay. So how will we solve this question? Very interesting question. What is they are asking? They are asking you to calculate bending moment at the center. They are asking you to calculate bending moment at the center. Let's say this is C. They are asking you to find bending moment at point C. Okay. So how will we calculate bending moment at the center? First of all, we need to find the reactions here. First of all, we need to find reactions here. So how will you calculate reaction? Let's say this is RA. Let's say this is RB. Okay. Take the moment at point B. Take the moment at point B. So summation of M at point B should be 0. So what will be the moment of RA? RA into L minus sorry, plus because this also is clockwise moment. Now calculate the moment of this uniformly distributed moment. So in case of uniformly distributed moment, you just have to multiply this with length. In case of UDL, what is the total load? W into L. So here instead of load we are calculating moment. So what will be the total moment? M into L. We need the total moment from A to B. So it will be M into L equals to 0. So it is just like uniformly distributed load. In that case, what do we get? We get force. Here what we will get? We will get moment. So this is a uniformly distributed moment. So this multiplied by length will give you moment. Kilonewton meter per meter multiplied by meter will give you kilonewton meter. Okay. So M into L. So from here what will you get? RA equals to minus M. What is minus M? Minus means our direction is wrong. So this should be like this. Okay, and if this is like this M, this will be M. So this M equal and opposite. No other force. There are only two forces. This is a moment. So there is, if this is M, this should be M, equal and opposite. So now we have to calculate moment at the center. So what will be the moment at the center, my friend? Calculate the moment at the center. So what will be the moment at the center? This M minus M into L by 2. Okay. This moment will be negative moment and this moment will be positive, plus what will be the moment from here to here due to this uniformly distributed moment? What will be the moment? M into L by 2. Okay, total moment will be M into L, but we need moment up to center. So M into L by 2 equal to, what will you get, my friend? Minus M into L by 2 plus M into L by 2. Okay, sorry. This will be like this. What is the moment at the center? So minus M into L by 2 plus M into L by 2. What you will get? 0, my friend. What will you get? 0. So moment at point C will be 0. In fact, you calculate moment anywhere on the beam, you will get 0 answer. Bending moment diagram for this beam will be this. Bending moment diagram for this beam will be this, 0. Okay. So this is a very interesting question. Simply supported beam subjected to uniformly distributed moment. In this case, bending moment at every point will be 0. Look at this, bending moment at the center. What are you getting? 0. You calculate bending moment here, you calculate bending moment here. At any point, you will get the same answer, 0. So bending moment diagram in this type of beam will be 0. Okay. So this is another very important question, my friend. Okay. It was asked in GATE 2010 in civil engineering. Okay. Now let's move on to our next question, and our next question is another very interesting question, my friend, and I am going to tell you a very interesting concept using this question, my friend. Using this question, I am going to tell you a very interesting concept, a very amazing concept. You might have not seen this concept till now. Nobody will tell you about this concept. Okay, so let me tell you this concept. Shear force diagram for a beam is given. Shear force diagram for a beam is given. This is the shear force diagram of a beam. Shear force diagram for a beam is shown in the figure. Okay, this is the shear force diagram. What is this? Shear force diagram of a beam. Let's say this is A, B, C, D, E. This length is L, L, 2L, L. Okay, this is minus 5P, this is 7P, minus 2P, 2P. This is the shear force diagram. They are asking you to calculate maximum bending moment. Okay, assuming there is no couple. Okay, assuming there is no couple on the beam, you have to find the bending moment, maximum bending moment in the beam from the shear force diagram. Okay, so this is the shear force diagram and you need to calculate what? Bending moment, maximum bending moment. This is a question from Engineering Services 2002. Engineering Services 2002 of civil engineering. Very important question, my friend. Very important question. Till now, we have calculated shear force from bending moment. Okay. In the last two questions, I told you how to calculate shear force from bending moment. In this question, what do you need to calculate? Bending moment from shear force. In this question, we have to do opposite. We have to find bending moment from shear force. Let me explain two different methods. of solving the same problem. You can solve the same problem using two different methods. Okay, so I will tell you both the methods. Okay, note this question and we will see both the type of methods. I will tell you two very interesting methods. The first method is to draw the loading diagram. The first method is to draw the loading diagram. Okay, so how will you draw the loading diagram, my friend? How will you draw the loading diagram? First of all, what type of load is acting on the beam? What type of load is acting on the beam? This is a shear force diagram. There are only horizontal and vertical lines. There is no straight line. There is no parabola. When do you get straight line? In case of UDL. And when do you get parabola? In case of UVL. So there is no UDL, no UVL. What is there acting on the beam? There are only point loads, concentrated loads. How many point loads are there? We have 5 vertical lines. There is one vertical line here, one vertical line here, one vertical line here, one vertical line here, one vertical line here. Whenever there is point load acting at a point, we get vertical line. I told you this concept, my friend, in the last lecture. Whenever there is a point load, means there is a vertical line in shear force diagram. So due to this vertical line, there must be a point load. So how many point loads do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 point load at every point. Okay, let's draw the loading diagram. So what will be the load here? The load here is changing from 0 to minus 5p. So the load will be 5p, and according to our sign convention, it must be downward. That's why I am getting negative shear force. It must be downward. Now here, the load is changing from minus 5p to 7p. So what is the total load here? 12p. And it is going on opposite side from negative to positive. So this is 12p. Okay. Then at point C, it is changing from 7p to minus 2p. So what is the total load here? 9p. And again it is changing from positive to negative. So again the direction is changing. So here it will be 9p. Then at point, this is point D. Sorry, this is point D. At point D, again we are having a vertical line and the load is changing from minus 2p to 2p. So what is the total load? 4p. And again it is going in opposite direction. 4p. Then in the end, it is changing from 2p to 0. So what is the total load here? 2p, and again it is opposite. This is the loading diagram, my friend. We have 5 point loads. How do we know? Because we have 5 vertical lines. So these are 5 point loads. This is the loading diagram. A, B, C, D, E. Okay. 1 meter, 1 meter, 2 meter, 1 meter. Okay. You can also tally your answer whether you have the right answer, right loading diagram or not. Summation of Fy must be 0. Okay, summation of Fy, net force must be 0. So what is the total downward force? 5 plus 9, 14 plus 2, 16. Total downward force, total upward force, 12 plus 4, 16. So your diagram is correct. Your diagram is correct. Okay, summation of Fy is 0. Your diagram is correct. Now once you have the loading diagram, you can calculate the bending moment. What will be the bending moment, my friend? Calculate the bending moment. Calculate the bending moment. Bending moment at A and bending moment at E will be 0. What will be the bending moment at B? What will be the bending moment at B? Bending moment at B will be minus 5p into 1 meter. Sorry, this is not 1 meter. This is actually L. Okay, this is L, L, 2L, L. Okay. So what will be the bending moment at point B? Minus 5pl. Okay. What will be the bending moment at C? Minus 5p into 2L plus 12p into L. So it will be 2pl. Okay. And what will be the bending moment at D? Minus 2pl. Bending moment at D minus 2pl. Okay. At point A and at point E it is 0. At point B it is minus 5pl. At point C it is 2pl. At point D it is minus 2pl. So what is the maximum value? Maximum value is minus 5pl. Forget about the sign. Look at the magnitude. What is the maximum magnitude? 5pl. Okay. So this is the maximum bending moment at point B. So this is one method of calculating the bending moment from shear force diagram. Draw the loading diagram and then calculate bending moment. But this takes a lot of time. First you have to draw the loading diagram, then you have to calculate bending moment, I will tell you a shortcut method of calculating bending moment directly from shear force. You can calculate shear force directly from bending moment diagram. I will tell you a very important method, a very shortcut method. Now, I have told you in the first lecture of shear force and bending moment diagram, dm by dx equals to s. This equation can be written like this: dm equals to s dx, and if you integrate it between any 2 points, what do you get? mb minus ma equals to integration s dx from a to b. Look at this relation, my friend. What is this relation? mb minus ma. What is mb minus ma? mb minus ma means change in bending moment or difference in bending moment between A and B. MB minus MA means difference in bending moment between A and B. And what is integration SDX? Integration SDX means area under shear force diagram. So according to this relation, difference in bending moment between A and B is equal to area of shear force diagram between A and B. Area of shear force diagram between A and B. This is a very interesting concept, my friend. This concept can be used to calculate bending moment directly from shear force diagram. Okay, how will we calculate it? In this question, they are mentioning that there is no couple, and if there is no couple, then in the end, bending moment will always be 0. That we know. If there is no couple at the ends, bending moment is always 0. So you know that MA must be 0, ME must be 0. How do we know it? Because there is no couple, so moment at the ends will be 0. Now we need to calculate MB, MC and MD. How do we calculate it? Apply this relation: MB minus MA equals to area of shear force diagram between A and B. What will be this area? What will be this area, my friend? We have to put the area with the sign. So the area is negative. What is the area, my friend? Minus 5 PL. What is the area? Minus 5 PL. Now you know the value of MA, 0. So what will you get? MB will be minus 5 PL. MB is minus 5 PL. What I did? I used the relation MB minus MA should be equal to area of shear force diagram between A and B. You have to put the area with sign. Now if you have used MB minus MA, then for B and C you have to do MC minus MB. Don't do MB minus MC. Don't do MB minus MC. You have used MB minus MA between AB, so you have to do MC minus MB between BC. Okay, so you have to use the same sequence for all the beam. So okay, so between B and C I will write this: MC minus MB equals to area between B and C, area of shear force diagram between B and C. What is this area? 7P into L. Now put the value of MB here. Put the value of MB. What is MB? Minus 5 PL. MB is minus 5 PL. So from here what will you get? MC equals to 2 PL. Right? Then you have to find the value of MD. So you can do MD minus MC or you can do ME minus MD. Let's use ME minus MD. So ME minus MD will be equal to this area. What will be this area? 2 PL. What is the value of ME? 0. So what will you get? MD equals to minus 2 PL. MD will be minus 2 PL. So look at this. MB is minus 5 PL. MC is 2 PL. MD is minus 2 PL. We have got the same value in the previous procedure also. We got the same values. So this is another method, a second method, a shortcut method. You can directly calculate bending moment from shear force diagram. This is shear force diagram. I calculated bending moment using the area of shear force diagram. MB minus MA will be equal to area of shear force diagram between A and B. So you can use this method to find the value of bending moment diagram directly from shear force diagram, my friend. Okay, you can use this method for calculating bending moment directly from shear force diagram. Okay, so this is a very interesting method, a very interesting concept for calculating bending moment directly from shear force diagram. I will give you another example. I will solve another example of calculating bending moment directly from shear force diagram. Okay, let's practice one more problem like this. Okay, let's say you have a shear force diagram like this. Okay, let's say you have a shear force diagram like this. Let's say you have a shear force diagram like this. Let's say you have a shear force diagram like this. This is the shear force diagram we have. This is A, B, C, D. This is given minus 30 kilonewton. This is 60 kilonewton. This is 40 kilonewton, minus 40 kilonewton. This is 20 kilonewton. Okay, this is 0, this is 0. Okay, what is this? Shear force diagram. And again they are asking you to calculate maximum bending moment. Okay, I will give you the distances. So distance between A and B is 2 meter. Distance between B and C, this total distance is 4 meter, and this distance is again 2 meter. Okay, so this is the shear force diagram, and what do we have to calculate? Maximum bending moment. Note this and solve this problem using the same procedure. Area of shear force diagram is equal to change in bending moment. Okay, MB minus MA equals to area of shear force diagram. Okay, so we have to solve this problem using the same procedure. Now my friend, I told you that where do we get maximum bending moment? We get maximum bending moment where sign of shear force changes. Okay, so where sign of shear force is changing? Sign of shear force is changing at this point and this point. So we can get maximum bending moment at B, we can get maximum bending moment at C, or we can get maximum bending moment at this point. Let's call it point E. Now we don't know what is the distance between B and E. We know the total distance between B and C, but we don't know what is this distance or this distance. So first we will calculate this distance. Okay, we need this distance to calculate bending moment at E. So let's say that it is X. How will we calculate X? Let's say if this is X, then this base will be 4 minus X. Apply similar triangle between this triangle and this triangle. Okay, we need value of X, otherwise we will not be able to calculate moment at E. So what will be this X? X by 60, this base by this height equals to this base by this height, 4 minus X by 40. Okay, solve this. What will you get? 40x equals to 240 minus 60x. So you will get this here. So 100x equals to 240. So x will be 2.4 meter. So this x is what? 2.4 meter. Now we have this value. Now we have this value. This is 2.4 meter and this is what? 1.6 meter. Okay. Now we have got this distances. Okay. 2.4 and this is 1.6. Now we can calculate moment at B, E and C. So let's calculate moment at B. Let's calculate moment at B. We will do this. MB minus MA equals to area of shear force diagram. So what will be this area? What will be this area? Minus 30 into 2. We have to put the value with sign. Now we know that if there is no couple, then bending moment at the ends is 0. There is no couple here. So bending moment at A and bending moment at D is 0. So MB minus 0 equals to minus 60. So what will be MB? Minus 60 kilonewton meter. It is mentioned in the question that there is no couple. Okay, don't worry about that. It will be mentioned in the question that there is no couple. So if there is no couple, bending moment at A will be 0. If there is no couple, bending moment at A means bending moment at this end will be 0 and bending moment at this end will also be 0. Okay, so we have calculated MA minus 60. Then we will calculate ME. So what will be ME? ME minus, sorry, MB is minus 60. So ME minus MB equals to this area. What will be this area? It is the triangle. So area will be half into 2.4 base into height. What is height? 60. Put the value of MB. MB is minus 60. Okay. What will be this? 72. So what will be ME? ME will be 12. ME will be 12. Okay. Now we will calculate MC. So what we will do? MD minus MC equals to this area. What will be this area? 20 into 2, 40. MD is 0. So MC will be minus 40. So now we have the value of bending moment. Bending moment at B minus 60. Bending moment is at E 12 and bending moment at C minus 40. So this is the maximum bending moment. This is the maximum bending moment, 60 kilonewton meter. Okay. This is the maximum bending moment, 60 kilonewton meter. So this is a method to calculate bending moment directly from shear force diagram. This is a shear force diagram. We can directly calculate bending moment using this concept. MB minus MA equals to area of shear force diagram between A and B, my friend. Okay. So not this point, not this concept, a very important concept. Okay. A very important concept for calculating bending moment directly from shear force diagram. Okay. All right. Now let's move on to the next question, which is also a very interesting question. Very interesting question, my friend. Most of the people get the answer of this question wrong. So let me read the question for you first. We have a simply supported beam. We have a simply supported beam. We have a simply supported beam. Okay, we have a simply supported beam here. And there is a column at the center of this beam. At the center of this beam, there is a column and the load is acting at the center of the column. The load is acting at the center of the column. Okay, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is L by 2, this is L by 2. So this is a column. Okay, this is a column which is attached to the beam and the load is not acting on the beam. The load is acting on the column. Okay. And what do we need to calculate? We need to find shear force at B. We need to find shear force at point B. So this is a very interesting question, my friend. This is a very interesting question. Okay. What will be the shear force at B? So what people do, let me tell you. Okay. This is a similar type of loading, symmetric loading. This is a symmetric loading. So this load will be W by 2. This load will also be W by 2. So what usually people do in this question, let me tell you first. People usually see this question like this. People usually solve this question like this. Here it will be W by 2. From here to here it will go like this. Then W by 2 minus W. It will go down minus W by 2. Then here to here and then it will become 0. People usually make shear force diagram like this and they say that at point B the shear force will be W by 2 or minus W by 2. This is completely wrong. This is completely wrong, my friend. This is not how this question will be solved. Okay. Let me tell you how this question is going to be solved. Okay. Let me tell you how this question is going to be solved. First of all, the load W is not acting on the beam. The load W is acting on the column. So what do we have to do? We have to remove this column from the beam. Okay. Now look at this column. This column is attached to the beam on this area. So this load W, how will it be transferred? It will be transferred from this point to this point. It will be like a UDL, uniformly distributed load, because the column is not resting at a point. The column is resting on some surface. So whatever the load W is, it will be distributed over this surface. The column is not resting like this. If this is the beam, the column is not resting like this. Is it resting like this? Is it resting at a particular point? No. So this W load is not acting at a point. The column is resting like this. So this load W is distributed over this area. The load W is distributed over this area. So if you remove this column, then what you will get? If you remove this column, you will get a very small UDL. You will get a very small UDL like this. Okay. You will get a very small UDL like this. Okay. Now let's draw the shear force diagram. Okay, let's draw the shear force diagram. Let's draw the shear force diagram. So here it will go from 0 to W by 2. From here to this point, it will go like this. At this point, means here it will be W by 2, here it will be minus W by 2, right? So it will go from here to minus W by 2 like a straight line. Okay, this is minus W by 2. From here to here it will be horizontal. In the end it will become 0. Look at this diagram, my friend. Here it is plus W by 2, here it is minus W by 2, and from plus W by 2 to minus W by 2 it is changing linearly. Why? Because from this point to this point, from this end to this end, we have a UDL, a very small UDL. So this will be a linear, a straight line. And what will be at the center? At the center shear force will be 0. From plus W by 2 to minus W by 2 it is going like this. At the center what will be the value? The value will be 0. So shear force at center in this problem will be equal to 0, my friend. Okay, so this is the correct solution to this problem. So there was a column, the load was not acting on the beam, there was a column and the column is supported over some area. It is not supported, it is not resting at a point, it is resting over some area. So the load of the column is distributed like this, UDL, very small UDL. Okay, so from this end of the column to this end of the column, the shear force diagram will go like this as a straight line, and at the center it will cross 0. At the center it will become 0. So shear force at the center is 0, my friend. Okay, so these are different types of question from GATE and engineering services. There are other questions also, but that you have to solve on your own. Don't expect me to solve all the questions. Otherwise, what you will do? Because if you want to crack GATE, you have to practice all the question. I have told you different types of concept. Okay, whatever concept is different in the question, I have solved that question. Okay, so I have tried to solve different type of questions from GATE and engineering services. The other problems are very simple. You can solve them using all the concept we have covered. Okay, so this was the end of shear force and bending moment diagram. In the next lecture, we will start with another very interesting topic related to beam, my friend. So stay tuned in the next lecture. Come in the next lecture. Come in the next class tomorrow at 3 p.m. and we will start another very interesting topic from related to beam. Okay, shear force and bending moment diagram is ended today. From the next lecture, we will start another very interesting topic. So let's meet in the next topic. Meanwhile, please hit the like button, give me a thumbs up, share these videos to as many students as possible. And if you like my teaching, if you want to learn more from me and all the other top educators of India, subscribe to Unacademy Plus. Unacademy Plus. Using my referral code. Don't forget to use my referral code. If you use my referral code, you will get 10% discount, and in return I will also get something. So it is kind of a feedback. If you are liking my videos, if you are liking my efforts, then give me a good feedback. Use my referral code for subscribing to Unacademy Plus, my friend. Okay, now this is the end of today's video. We will meet tomorrow at the same time, 3 p.m. to start the next topic related to beam. Okay, my friend, thank you very much for watching.